Hello guys, how are you? I hope everybody's doing well and welcome back. I'm back with another video. So in this video, so I am also a AWS Solution Architect Associate certified, and in that, what it does mean is I do have some sort of some level of AWS knowledge, and I'm preparing for a furthermore AWS certification exam. Plus also I'm enhancing my AWS knowledge because I am thinking that I will be going in the path of cloud and I want to build my career on it. So being said that one, I don't want to waste much of the time, and I want to jump into straight to the point what I will be doing in this video. So yeah, there's one dilemma saying that okay, AWS you can do it, but people would basically go and read some documentations, they would watch some course videos, and then the problem here really is they don't really have a very strong knowledge on hands-on experience. And obviously, yeah, if you don't use AWS properly, then you definitely gonna pay a lot of money and expensive as well. And here I'm going through a lot of resources and documentation that AWS has provided, where we can go and see all of those resources and we can find the hands-on practical demo and labs and tutorials that has been placed here on AWS website. And if you see here, I will be building today a CI/CD pipeline in AWS, which is, if you guys familiar with the DevOps concept and how you can build your web application, or how you can deploy your any kind of applications with the continuous integration and continuous deployment, or continuous delivery. So how you can design that kind of a flow in AWS. So here I have a tutorial, so I will be doing live with you guys, explaining all of the things that I know, and also here will be a lot of things that I will know. It's gonna be new for me as well. All right, so if you see here, it says AWS beginner, and then it says 35 minutes and free tier eligible. So what's the deal with AWS is, if you are new in AWS and if you have a new account, then definitely you're gonna have access for 12 months of free tier. You're eligible for some of the services to use for free. Okay, so I will just not waste time and I'll directly jump on what I will be doing in this video. All right, so it says here, so today I will be working on this project. I will be definitely following this tutorial, or this guidelines that AWS has provided to us, and definitely it's going to be really good hands-on practice for us. And I hope like it's gonna motivate for you guys just to build your AWS knowledge as well. Okay, so let's get started. So here's our architecture, and in this architecture we have so user, and then we have our Git repo, or which is a open source tool for storing your codes, and it acts as a code repository where you can do your version controllings and all sort of stuffs. Okay, and then we're gonna make a AWS pipeline. That means I would say like it would work more like taking multiple parts and putting it together to come up with an outcome. Okay, so you have a code build, and then you have basically you will be working to make a production ready website platform. So to deploy a production ready website, you will be creating a platform, so where if you not just only for the first time, and after deploying you can have continuous review, continuous change. So you just want to design that kind of a flow, okay, in which we also call CI/CD. All right, so I hope you guys have basic knowledge about CI/CD and DevOps. Even I am learning and I also increasing my knowledge on it. So I will be following this tutorial today, and here AWS AWS has very easily divided all the sections so that it's going to be very easier for us to follow these steps, and let's see how it goes. All right, so I will be jumping to my AWS console, and I have two screens, so I will be putting this on my another side. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go to my personal I'm gonna go to personal container, and I'm gonna say AWS management console. Go to my accounts, go to AWS management console. You can go directly to AWS management console. Yeah, all right. And I'm already logged in, so you better need to have your AWS account, definitely. And by default it always goes in US East 1, which is North Virginia region. Located in Sydney, so I would definitely go on Sydney because of the latency issues. It's going to be faster over here because it's just in Sydney. All right. So what it says is I'm gonna be following these modules. All right, so in the first module it says set up a Git repo. So do you guys have a Git repository? If you don't, then create an account. Okay, so the first thing it's gonna say is you guys have to follow the documentations as well. All right, so what I'm gonna do is just gonna go here and gonna study what it says. In this module you'll be set up a repository for your code so it can be easily accessed over the internet. For example, you can use GitHub. Okay, I'm gonna have GitHub here, logged in, and then I have already logged in my Git, and here are some of the two repo that I have. Okay, so I can do more. That's not a problem. And it's open source version controlling tool, and GitHub is a repository. Git commit is a method to add changes. Let's suppose you can update, add new files like that, and pushing the repository. All right, and creating a copy of existing repository. Forking means creating an existing it's a copy of existing repository. All right, so okay, let's get it started with this. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do now, it says, yeah, this tutorial assume that existing GitHub account. If you don't know, then you go over here and then go create a GitHub account. In the browser it says GitHub and elastic beanstalk sample repo. So what I'm gonna be doing is so there's one GitHub already been like created for us. Okay, so you have a JavaScript here, and we have some of these Git. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fork this this code. So it's a Node.js application that I will be using to deploy in Elastic Beanstalk. Okay, so it's very simple, but we're gonna be using it to, because I don't know, I'm a Python guy, so I have never used a code for Node.js code. So but anyway, so it's just the code that I will be taking from here. All right, so code, and then what it says here, GitHub CLI, GitHub so click a fork button. Next you'll see this email asking you where you would like to fork your repo. Okay, so you should see some fork option. Okay, go here, action. Do you see anything here? Nothing. All right, you should be something, get a code, clone, http, open GitHub desktop, go to file, security, actions, don't have any actions, code, issue, pool, main, tags, branch, and I think it has some sort of a permission, license under the empty. Okay. So as I said, guys, even this is the first time for me, and I would be playing around, so it's gonna be first time for me. But when I do the same thing the next time, it's not gonna be the first time, you know what I mean? So I will know what I will be doing. So let's get started. So I have to a little bit move around. GitHub SSH, not here, not here. So this gives you an idea of how you can find things. Okay, so you should be working in IT is all about finding stuffs. Nobody knows everything. Action, nothing here. Insights. Okay, this is, I think there should be something called fork here, as it mentions. What it says over here is open a new browser tab, navigate GitHub, make sure you are logged into your account. Yes, I am. Same tab, open the Elastic Beanstalk and express. Okay. It says open this because I'm logged in. If you see here, I'm logged in. Yep, I'm logged in. And it says, okay, click a white fork button on the top right corner of your screen. Top right corner of your screen. Yes, is what hidden. Just kidding. All right, so you can fork, and that means it's gonna copy all those repo to my repo. So it's gonna be here. Okay, so now what's gonna happen is this node.js. If you go inside here, you see all the code that's required, which you don't have to worry about at this point of time because you will be working as. And then now see, now push a change to your new repo. Click a green code button near to the home page to clone the repo using HTTPS. Confirm that heading says clone this HTTPS. If not, click to use HTTP link. Okay, so this is to clone. Push a change to a new repo. Okay, so if you on Mac, Linux, git clone, then in your folder, you just, if you need to download this, the whole entire folder on your desktop, then you just can type these things. Okay, so at this point of time, and git commit if you did any change. Okay, add app.js if you make some changes, and then push means you push those changes to your repo. And later on we're going to talk about webhooks as well, so just tracking the changes and running the CI/CD based on the changes that we push on GitHub. All right, now there's nothing much that I have to work on, so let's go to next module. Okay, so what it says is we have created a code repository contain simple hello web app. So you will be using this repo as a trigger for your continuous delivery pipeline. So it's important for you to set it properly. We can successfully push the code. So as I already mentioned, I just made this, and then I have this code already ready. Okay, so what I can do is I can just go over here, and I can, so if I say, I can just go to files, all of these files I have here. So if you would want to download, then you could download, but I just already forked it, so I don't really need to go anything, like I don't think I have to do anything. So I'm gonna go to start module 2. All right, so now it's time to deploy. So this module you'll learn to use AWS Elastic Beanstalk console to create and deploy a web application. So in order to do this, you need to have a AWS account, and then you need to open AWS Elastic Beanstalk. So to talk basic concept about AWS Elastic Beanstalk is, you know, like being a developer, you don't have to, you don't want to worry about how my application will run or how my website is going to run or anything, you know. So just to take away that stress, AWS has come up with a service called Elastic Beanstalk, where you can just worry about your code and not to worry about the platform that it's gonna run on. So that's why you just write your code, and you can easily deploy your applications in AWS Elastic Beanstalk without having to worry about underlying infrastructure. So that's the beauty of AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Okay, so and it supports tons of languages like Python, Node.js, and other languages. So no matter which language you use to write your application, you can easily deploy on that one. So we will be going and creating our environment. Okay, so let me sign into my AWS account. So what I'm gonna do now, so I am already signed into my AWS account, so I will be going back here. Okay, so what it's gonna say is I'm gonna go AWS Elastic Beanstalk. So as I mentioned, it's all about free service, but the thing that we need to remember is we need to remember to turn all the services that we have turned on while we're doing our demo. Okay, because once somebody says that AWS is not just only about pay what you use, okay, it's also about pay what you forget to turn off. So that's another funny thing that you must remember all the time when you're using cloud, and that's the downside of it. You know, there's nothing there's not such thing just to remind you, okay, you forgot to turn this off. Like, you know, sometimes you run one EC2 instance and you forget, definitely you forget, and you have so much time in a free tier is that like it's gonna pass that time and then it's gonna start charging per hour, or you know, based on the how much capacity you have configured or taken. And yeah, and then at the end of the month you're gonna get like $100 bills and you don't even know how and why. So you gotta be just, and it's a very common scenario with all these AWS users, you know. So it's always be, you know, money is money. So just being extra careful at the end of your lab is very important, and it's gonna save you tons of money. Okay, AWS Elastic Beanstalk, let's go. Yep, you can see here, just go Elastic Beanstalk, run and manage website. So web apps, you run over here and you can see a basic how it works. You simply upload your code. Elastic Beanstalk automatically handles the deployment for your capacity provisioning, load balancing, auto scaling. So as I mentioned before, you just need to worry about your code, no need to worry about anything else. It's gonna do everything for you. Underlying deployment, managing infrastructures, and which otherwise you would have to also worry about, okay, so if I deploy my code on this environment, is it gonna run perfectly or not? You know what I mean? So in that case you don't have to worry about. Okay, so let's go back to the, okay, I'm in my AWS Elastic Beanstalk page. Now I will check my guideline. Okay, so if I go over here, where's my, okay, here, go here, and let's go and then check here. What it says is, so environment, EC2 instance, virtual server, web server. I hope you guys know this. Software uses HTTP protocol to connect, to talk to the web pages. Okay, platform, combining operating system, programming language, runtime, web server, application server. Okay, everything. Now configure Elastic Beanstalk application. So what's it gonna do? You're gonna go to create application. In text under the heading application, you type this, select Node.js as a platform. So as I told you, there's tons of languages that it supports, and I will show that as well. And visually confirm radio button next to sample application. All right, so let's go here, nothing, and it says we're gonna be running on platform is gonna be Node.js, and it's gonna be running on 64-bit Amazon Linux 2, and then the version, we're gonna select whatever is recommended. I'm not sure when this was uploaded, so I will be doing the latest one definitely. And the sample application. Okay, so it says upload your code or sample application. So it's gonna say application create, and a small black window with a white text screen display. After a few minutes we have passed, you'll see a large green check mark, test your web app. Okay, and then it says, okay, so your health is done, everything is running, upload, run. You can see all your logins, and then now you have your Git report ready and your Elastic Beanstalk ready. Let's go and do that one. Now if you go back to my where's my console? Here you go. Okay, I'll create this my console. Okay, so I'm gonna go application is gonna be my my Node.js app. All right, my Node.js app. So that's my name. All right, so I don't worry about this. I just gonna worry about Node.js. So as I mentioned here, so you can write your .NET, Docker, you know, like Java, PHP, Python, Ruby, any kind of platform you can use it. Okay, and as I said, it's gonna select automatically the recommended one platform. And sample application. Okay, so now I'm gonna say upload your code, sample, create application. It's gonna use the sample code that it has already built in. Validate your creating an application. And if you go over here, using environmental beanstalk, Amazon S3 bucket, environment data, it's gonna create all the required stuffs in the background. And the good thing is, like, see, with a few clicks and a few typing, you can simply have your platform running. Okay, so give it a minute. You can see it's pending. When everything is done, you're gonna see green check, and then it's gonna say completed, and we're gonna be going out for it. Okay, it's loading. You can see all of these logs here. It has already performed. Okay, and oh, sorry, where I go? Yep, here. All right, so once it's done, there will be green tick on it. Okay, so let's wait for it. Yep, it says health pending. So my application has been configured, but it says pending. Okay, so it says error, creating a security group named this, reason failed, cancelled, failed, security group. Why is failed though? Actually, stack name, it says pending. Okay, running, there is no instance. I'm just curious why it's not giving me an option. So it says error. Okay, so definitely there's some problem. I'm not sure why, because should create automatic field created info, logs, health pending, monitoring, alarms updated, simple application, go over here, elastic beanstalk. My god. All right, no worries, we will be up there. My JS, it says pending, but definitely because there's some issues. Okay, if I go over here, I will see my issues, and it says error, stack named AWS is creating stack, failed reason, the following reasons failed to create a load balancer, AWS security group, load balancer failed, at least 2 subnet in 2 different availability zone must be specified, service Amazon Elastic load balancing, status code 400. So there is some sort of a problem with subnets, I can see it definitely, and there's some problem with AWS load balancer. So let's figure it out what happened. Okay, let's check my environment. Before that, what I'm gonna do is, maybe it's gonna fix itself. If not, we're gonna go back and create another one. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go and delete this application, and I'm gonna say into the name. Okay, so just for the name, you're just gonna copy and just paste and say, all right, my Node.js app. Okay, doesn't work. My Node.js app. JS app. Yep, now it's worked. Okay, so I'm deleting it now. Okay, so it's been going down. If I create a new application, let's go. Okay, my Node.js app. Okay, so it's gonna go there. I'm gonna application name, and I'm gonna create already exist. Okay, so create an application, web app, my Node.js. I'm just gonna say my Node.js, platform's gonna be my Node.js. It's just gonna select automatically. Okay, it says running. I'll say let's go 10. Okay, so it's gonna get started and configure more option. I'm not sure because alright, so it says free tier eligible. Definitely we're gonna go in the free tier eligible. And with high availability, the thing is we're gonna have to configure our environment in multi-AZ. Okay, so capacity, load balancing, auto scaling, availability on any, and instances 1 to 4, depending on it's on demand. You can have this. It's for the auto scaling. Yeah, it's a maximum. It's for the auto scaling. Okay. Ah shit, I just my JS Node.js 10. Okay. Okay, it should be creating everything that is needed, like without having any issue. I'm not sure why exactly what it happened is. Just go and implement. So go over there, no need. You just create. Okay, okay. I'm just gonna check 12. Okay, and then gonna go create application sample. Click orange button. Click application. While waiting deployment, you should see small black window with the white text. Yep, definitely I'll see that. Create application. That's it. There's nothing much that I should worry about. Okay, it means like this. Okay, and then after a few minutes few minutes have passed, you'll see a large green check mark on your screen. Okay, starting creating. So what is it using Elastic Beanstalk AP Southeast 2, which is Sydney, and it's creating S3 bucket, creating load balancer region. At least 2 subnet in 2 different regions must be specified. Elastic load balancing is the same error. Okay, same error. I'm not sure if I have to create manually. You know what I mean? I can do that, but yep, I can see that there's a problem. This has been terminated. You know what I'm gonna do is compute resources, means I'm just gonna go to EC2, and yeah, this is all about troubleshooting. Yeah, so IT is all about troubleshooting. So you go to your subnets. Sorry, I'm wrong place. I need to be in VPC for the subnet. Okay, go over here, VPC, and isolate your cloud resources. Go over VPC. EC2, there is nothing that I need. It says load balancer, and I don't have something that I need. Okay, so go to VPC and I'm gonna go subnet. It says Sydney 1 only. Okay, how come? Available VPC subnet. But don't really ask for anything else. I'm not exactly sure why it's not allowing me. Maybe. Okay, let me check with another region. I would go with North Virginia. All right, I'll go with North Virginia. So I think that'd be better. And if I go back to my thing, I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna delete this app environment. Okay, I'm just gonna delete it because it's been pending. I don't want this to be open, so action and delete. See, it says same error again. So action, delete the application name, my node JS. Alright, so it's deleting and I don't want to worry about this now. Okay, so now if I reload this, I am in North Virginia region. Am I or not? No. Okay, I am. Now I'm gonna go to North Virginia. Okay, let's try if it's only in this ist, because okay, I want to run my thing over here, and I'm gonna say my node.js, and I'm gonna go choose platform node.js running. Yeah, see, if you see here, they have more options here now. I think the same option. I don't remember. Okay, create application. All right, let's see what it says now. Okay, again same thing. If it shows the same error, I'll definitely go back, and I'm gonna be using something is blocking it to create an AWS resource, whatever it requires, the underlying resources. Okay, it has multiple subnets. Okay, it has multiple subnets available here. So if we would see, in Sydney there was only one subnet, and it requires 2 subnets. So that was the reason that it was not being able to make it. Okay, so if you see here, all right, so let's see, it should be working because of only that reason. And let's see if I'm wrong. Right, see, now if you see here, now didn't have any problem. Now it's creating perfectly. If you go back here, and then if you click here, I should see all these logs. So because of the definitely the problem was I had only one availability zone. Okay, so this is another learning, guys. So you must be completely, you can't just run wherever you want. So there's another thing that you can learn. See, this is all the good things about hands-on practice. Now next time if somebody says what's the problem, then I'm gonna say, yep, change the reason, you'd be good to go. So so these are the things that gives you confidence while doing any task or giving an job interview or anything, just to enhance your skills. Okay, if you go back now in Elastic Beanstalk environments, it's pending, but there's no any error like before. Okay, so that's a good thing. And if I click here, go over my JAWS, go over here, and then I should see, yep, created a lot of things. Now you don't see any error. Okay, it's created according to you whatever you need. So this is a good thing. So don't have to worry about like if you're doing an architecture, or if you are designing any platform for any application, then you'd have to worry about how my user's gonna hit my load balancer or route 53, how my user's gonna go to this instance, how I'm gonna configure my access, how I'm gonna configure my high availability, and how I'm gonna roll back, like all of these issues, what happens if disaster happens. So all of the things are being taken care for you, and this is the beauty of Elastic Beanstalk. You don't really worry about anything. Okay, now if I go back, okay, one step at a time. Okay, resources, these are the documentation. If you need anything, then you simply can come here, and then you can just see the documentation, and then definitely you go. And then there's a lot of contributors out there working from all around the world, putting a lot of efforts and their hard work to create these code repo for us, and templates, CFN templates, CloudFormation templates. See, so we can have this YAML file. So they have like VPC, private VPC, private public VPC template. So all of these we can see. I'm learning AWS CloudFormation now, and I can pretty much read these files. Before it was very hard, and I was like, oh shit, but now I can read these files, and it's very good. I will not talk about this, but yeah, it's just a time pass, you know what I mean? It's gonna be fun. And all right, as I mentioned before, you're gonna see a green check. Okay, so it says health is okay, so you can say okay, everything is okay, so it's running Everything's working fine, perfect. So that means your environment is ready. So now another thing that you can do to check your environment if it's running properly or not, what you can do is basically simply go to test your web app. Okay, so how you can test your web app is you have this this link. Okay, simply click on here. It's gonna open in a new tab for you. Just click in here. Yeah. Yep. So if you see this, that means your web application, your environment is running. Okay, so that means congratulations, your first AWS Elastic Beanstalk Node.js application is now running. So see how fast it is to launch your platform. All right, so before you'd have to worry about hosting servers, IP, this, that. All right, no more. Now let's move on to our module 3. Okay, so I will be going to module 3. All right. Okay, now what it says is create build project. So in this module, you'll use AWS Code build to build the resources code previously stored in your GitHub repo, so which I have already forked from AWS link that they gave me. Okay, and AWS Code build is a fully managed continuous integration service that compiles your code resource, run tests, and produce software packages that are ready to deploy. Okay, Code build is a software that works for continuous integration service. Okay, and it compiles all of your codes and run tests. It's like a Jenkins, if you have heard of it. It's an open source tool. It's basically simply used for the same purpose. It will take all of your code, run test, analyze it, and then deploy it. Okay, so that's the that would simply what it will do. So create a build project with AWS Code build, set up a GitHub as source provider for a build project, run a build on AWS Code build. So here are the things you can just go everything. You just go over this and then have a basic key concepts. I will be just going through this in a very brief. I know this is like a very long, it's gonna be a bit long video, you know, so I'm just learning myself as well. I'm teaching myself and I'm trying to explain whatever I learned as well. Okay, build process that converts source code file into an executable software artifact. Okay, it's gonna convert whatever code you have written into a sensible format, and it's gonna create an artifact, which is an executable software. Okay, it's gonna be like something that you can, when you run it, something it does something. That means you're building an artifact. It may include following step: compiling your code, running tests, and packaging software for deployment. If you have let's suppose if you have written any code on Python, like any software, then it has to be then compiled, and then it has to be checked if for any syntax error or any error, any kind of error, just to need to be debugged, and then it has to be packaged to develop a software out of it. Okay, so I'm not a developer expert, but that's the basic that I know, you know. So at least but as a cloud guy, I think that's good enough for me to know. But definitely I will be learning more and more stuff about it. So in a continuous integration software development practice for regularly pushing changes to a host repository, and after which automate builds, test, and run. So once you upload your code on repo, so then you can basically work on your code every single time. If you need to make a small change, then you can directly make a small change on your code, and then you can just commit that code and push that code to GitHub. Then GitHub would automatically detect that changes using the webhooks, and based on that change, it's gonna deploy on your production side or test environment, I would say, because in a normal working environment, you don't want to deploy every changes directly, you know. So what you want to do is, like, you simply want to make change, and then after you change, then you want to deploy it on your test environment, and if your test environment goes well, then you would consider having a manual approval from our related stakeholder, or get an approval from upper management who are mostly responsible for it. Then only then you would go and manually deploy it. Okay, so that's the difference about continuous delivery and continuous deployment. You don't want to have continuous deployment in an ideal solution, because that's not an ideal, because if one developer make a simple mistake and it just deploy in your production environment, then that might cause a huge damage. Okay, so that's something that we all must be concerned or be very aware of. And now, so let's talk about build spec, collection of build commands and related settings in YAML format. So YAML and JSON. So if you learn about CloudFormation, you will be very familiar with these YAML and JSON format. It's just a way of writing instruction, I would say. It's just more of I would not say it's programming. It's not a programming language. It's just how we write things to give it to the computer so that it can run. It can read that code. Okay, it's like a common language between computer and the human. Build project includes information about how to run and build, include where to get source code. So now build project would get would detect, or it will look for a source code where, let's suppose, Git or a GitHub. Okay, so in which environment to use and which build commands to run. Okay, so we're gonna build our specs environment. So what we have done is we have already built our environment, and we're gonna say like, okay, these are the commands that we're gonna run. So after building it, it's just gonna say, okay, so I'm gonna get my code from here. I'm gonna have my environment on this. So now, and then where to store the build output. So whatever is done, it's just gonna detect everything. So after deploying that code, where to store that output. And open protocol for secure or authorization. I haven't done about this, but all right, so enables you to connect your GitHub account to third-party application. I think it just provides an authorization to use GitHub repo, so you can have direct access from AWS without having that's how AWS communicates to your GitHub repo, using open source. I think it's open authorization. I'm not sure. Yeah, it should be O means open. Should be open. Okay, open protocol. All right, let's go over here. So build configure. So what it says, new browser, code build console, click create project, build DevOps getting started. It's just a name. You can just type anything you want. Select the GitHub source provider, drop GitHub as a source provider because I have the GitHub logged in as there. And click a white button to connect the GitHub. After you click, it's gonna ask for authorization. You're gonna give authorized, and if you haven't done it, you will do it also later on. And then it's gonna show all the repo that you have, and you're gonna select these ones, the one that I have worked before. Okay, and it says, okay, add source, everything, GitHub, everything, and then it says confirm that managed image select Amazon Linux 2 as my operating system, and select standard runtime drop down. This image visually confirm, always use the latest image for this runtime version. So it will always check for the updates of operating system and always run the latest one. Visually confirm the Linux is selected for environment type. Visually confirm new service role is selected. Okay, so it's gonna create a service role that is required. Okay, so let's go one step at a time. Okay, so now what's gonna happen is I'm gonna build configure AWS build project. Okay, so I have my is this here? No, is this one? Yep, this is the one. So I'm gonna leave it like this. All right, I'm just gonna, I don't want to EC2, I don't want this, I don't want this. All right, I'm just gonna leave this and this. So now the next I'm gonna do is AWS code build. All right, now I'm gonna go to code build, and then it says build and test code, whatever code you have. So I'm gonna open this in another tab, it's gonna take me to, so I'm gonna create my project now. It's simply like you building your artifact on any IDE. Let's suppose I have PyCharm installed to do Python stuff. It's the same thing like you're doing in AWS. Okay, you just create your project, and then okay, so let's suppose my Node.js app. So this is my thing. So I'm gonna say deploy AWS deploy web app in AWS Elastic Beanstalk. All right, so that's it, Elastic Beanstalk. Okay, and then I don't want to worry about this. It says AWS code commit. No, our source provider is GitHub. Okay, and connect using OAuth or connect using GitHub personal access token, which I don't have. So I'm gonna connect to GitHub. It's gonna go over there and it's gonna say for my thing, and I have my sign in. I'm just gonna sign in. It says, all right, so you accessed by Northern Virginia. I'm gonna say authorize. That's it. Yep, you're right. Redirect to authorize an application. Now it says confirm, so I'm gonna say confirm. So that's what you need to do. Okay, because I already had my GitHub signed in before, so it was easy for me. So now once it's done. So now if you click here, you should be able to see your repo. Okay, if you don't see, you see public repo or get repo from your GitHub account, and if you see these ones, you can just select your GitHub. Okay, you get go down, and then now what it says is managed environment. You specify a Docker image or use an image managed by code build. Operating system is Amazon Linux 2. That's where you're gonna run your environment. Okay, runtime standard image is gonna be okay. Let's go with the documentation. You have to follow the documentation, otherwise at the last you're gonna run with some weird sort of problem, and you think like you have followed all the documentation and like you can't figure out your problem. Okay, so what it says is you have to use AWS Code Build Amazon Linux 2 x86 64 standard 3.0. So let's go and image 3.0. all right, so this is the one that they want. And also if you go back, always use the latest version. Yep, always use the latest version. Visually confirm Linux environment type and select new service role. Okay, so create a service role, don't use existing one. Okay, and then code build Node.js app service role. That's it. So now it says select insert build command, build spec. So it's gonna say replace the build spec editor with the code below. Fades build commands npm I save artifact files. I'm not sure what it does. Okay, so I might have to come and do a little bit of research about this, but I'm just gonna follow the guidelines for now. But definitely if you are more interested, definitely go and check on these ones. I'm not sure about this. Okay, and go back, build spec name. So what it says is sorry guys, sorry, don't want to see my email. Exit. Yep. This is the thing about doing live, you know, that's the problem. Okay, what I'm gonna do is click insert build command, and it says switch to editor, and then it says copy this JavaScript, and then Control A and Control V. So it says just paste this, and then it says create a build project. Okay, so and then at the list build project. So don't worry about anything. It says create a build project. I hope what I'm doing is good. So at least I just want to understand you know, about how we can do hands-on live. Every steps are we're gonna learn in a along the way. But having next time if somebody asks me to do this, then I would definitely know a lot of stuffs, so even so okay, these are the things, then that's how I can build. I can say, okay, I've went to so what are the things we did. We created our GitHub repo, and we created our code elastic beanstalk app, and then we build our code build. Like I know at least these steps, and then with more research, obviously you can understand, with more practice we can understand what are the things we've been doing. So this is how we're gonna get it started. All right, so now test. So to test our build, what we're gonna do is start build, and then it says confirm that loaded page reference and correct GitHub repo, and click orange start. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to confirm that our GitHub repo is good, and then our GitHub provider is good. So now it's gonna say start build. Okay, it's gonna start building. So after this it's gonna say, okay, wait for building to complete, check everything, our repo is good, this everything good, then start build. Okay, so it's gonna go and take my thing from the thing. If you go over here, you can see as well, let's suppose I'm logged in as, is this my reload, is it my session? Yeah, I'm logged in as, and if you see here, you should see some commit, because AWS will definitely come and see. I think I'm not in this one, sorry. Where is my repo? Where is my repo? Go over here. If I go here, I should see my repo, and you can see over here if this has taken JavaScript. If I go over here, start, and yep, 2 commits. You see 2 commits now, and then if you check over here, one is done by this, and you should see another commit from today as well after some time. So let's see, it's running all the things. You have started successfully started following build. Okay, and succeed, that's what I want to see. Okay, succeed. I don't want to see any red marks, so that's the good thing. But you always need to embrace and appreciate the red marks as well, because that's the point where you're gonna learn a lot of stuff. So having a green is good, but not always. Okay, so that's the thing. So at this point of time, where we have arrived is we've created Git repo, we've created our code build and elastic beanstalk. We still have some steps to do, so let's proceed. All right, so it says phase complete. Now if you go at phase details, everything succeeded, no red, as I mentioned before, no red. Repo build details, okay, it's gonna build from here. Service roles, environment, it's gonna run this, everything is all good, everything. Okay, everything is all good. Now if I go to start module 4, all right, so it says module 4. Now it's about creating delivery, so CI/CD. okay, we did build, now we're gonna do delivery pipeline. So for this we're gonna go to AWS Codepipeline. It says in this module you will use AWS Codepipeline to set up a continuous delivery pipeline with source, build and deploy stage. This pipeline will detect changes in the code stored in GitHub repo. Okay, what we will learn, set up a continuous delivery pipeline. So we're going to learn about how we're going to use AWS Codepipeline. We're going to learn about source stage using your GitHub repo, configure build stage using AWS Code Build, and configure deploy stage using your AWS Elastic Beanstalk application. So we have a source stage, which is our GitHub, build stage, which is our code build. So and then we have our, now it's a deployment phase. Okay, so it's gonna be Elastic Beanstalk application. So now we have built our different stages. So we built our deploy stage, we built our code source stage, we have built our build stage. So what's gonna happen is it's gonna take the code from GitHub from the in a source stage, and it's gonna compile all the codes that required code from the build stage, and then it's gonna deploy on the platform that we had in deploy stage. Okay, so this is the beauty about automation. So now next time I don't have to do all these steps every single time that I come if I want to make any changes to my web app. Okay, so it says here, continuous delivery software deployment practice that allows developer to release software more quickly. Now automated the build, test, and deploy process. See, we have created 3 different processes which otherwise would take like this long period of time. So now I've already spent like, I'm not sure how long I've spent, around almost like 55 minutes just to explain all of the things, you know. So in this case, it would not take that long time. So now create a pipeline. We're gonna go to AWS Code Pipeline console, create pipeline button. We're gonna name it and new service role. Next, we're gonna do source. Now we're gonna select the one that we have done before. Okay, and webhooks, I'm gonna talk about webhooks as well. And we have a build stage where you're gonna choose the build, the code build that you set up, and you have a deploy stage where you're gonna select the one that you the Elastic Beanstalk app. Okay, and then watch the first architecture build. So see here, we are getting near there. Okay, so Elastic Beanstalk deploy. Okay, so now let's go. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go back to my here. Now I'm gonna type AWS Code Pipeline. All right, AWS Code Pipeline. I can the only good things about this is now I can also use it for my Python code as well, not just JS, Node.js. You know, so as I mentioned before, I don't have experience in Node.js. If I want to, then it might take a couple of weeks for me to learn, but I don't have any problem with learning. But I'm just telling the fact, you know, I'm very comfortable with Python, and I have if I want to do the Python project as the same manner, and definitely do it, you know. So when I try to do next time, I would definitely feel much more comfortable than I'm doing right now. As I mentioned before, this is my first time doing it, and also I'm learning new things, plus I'm also recalling all those knowledge that I had, plus I'm also explaining these things to you guys. So I think this is the way that I always learn, and this is the way that I always try to keep my knowledge fresh. And I'm not sure if it's good or bad, but yep, that's it. That's how I remember things. All right, so now let's go about creating pipeline. So you're just gonna create. I've done this before a couple of times, but yep, again, okay, it's learning phase. So creating a pipeline. Now I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. It's my app. So again, I'm gonna say Node.js app. Again, I'm just gonna say, and I'm gonna say maybe pipeline, just a random name, just whatever you want. Select, and role name is just gonna create the required role. If you do existing service role, then you have to choose, and you have to go and create manually all the roles that you need, which you don't want to do it, definitely. That's why these services are okay. Just create a new service role, and it says go to create a service role, it can be used new. So just name it. Okay, just name it whatever you want. So if you go back, where is my documentation? If you go back here, what it says is new pipeline. Just create a new service role. That's it. Okay, so for now, I'm just gonna create my new service role. I'm just gonna put this in another screen. Okay, I'm gonna say AWS Code Pipeline service role for Node.js file. All right, so easy. Now get advanced. If you want to see, it says artifact stores, where you want to store your artifact, and you can create S3 bucket. It will definitely create S3 bucket, or you can also choose existing S3 bucket, and you can have this artifact encrypted by using AWS default, like AWS managed key, or you can upload your own managed key and you can encrypt that for a security purpose. But definitely we will not go on these ones, so it's just for the knowledge purposes. And I have learned about AWS key management, so these are for the encryptions and S3 buckets. So you know, all of these things, all of these concepts I have learned when I was preparing for my AWS certification exams. And definitely, you know, so we definitely need all of this knowledge to be able to do this, even though like all the guidelines is just given there for you, but just following the guidelines will never help you understand how things is working, because you need to also understand what it means. Okay, so that's another key. Okay, so you need to have basic information about AWS cloud, and you need to have some knowledge about, some level of knowledge about AWS services. Not all, but mostly three things: storage, compute, and networking. So all of the component, all of the services that it has for if I go over here, compute, storage, and I would say networking, VPC. Okay, so networking, so all of these are the simple things that we, I mean, like basic thing that we must have a knowledge of the cloud. And obviously there are other things, machine learning and quantum technology, satellite. So these are much more advanced, and we would probably not use in that often. And but just to be started, definitely we must know about EC2, Lightsail, Lambda, Batch, Elastic Beanstalk. We just did it. And S3, you know, Elastic File System, and then this cluster, and then S3 we need to know about Glacier, how we're gonna store your archive data. You also need to know about storage gateway, like the gateway that how you're gonna sync your data between on-prem and cloud, AWS backup, the important, how you're going to store your data, RDS. Okay, how you, DynamoDB is a fully managed non-SQL database from AWS. And also need to know about elastic case. You have elastic case like Redis and Memcached, you know. So, and Neptune is a GraphSQL from Facebook. I think it's not Facebook. Yep, it's a, yep. It used something called GraphSQL. Yep, I am not that much familiar about this, but I have heard about it. You know, so it's again, so you know, like it's gonna take it's huge amount of time, and I think there's very few people in the world they are all expert about all of this. So you know, so it's just after knowing some basics, it just narrows down to specification. Either you want to be a architect, either you want to be a DevOps, either you want to be, you know, like it's just gonna narrow down. So you don't have to be experts in everything, but it's better if you have knowledge about it. So over time it's gonna just build on top of each other. So the existing knowledge and the new knowledge, and you're gonna build a wall. Okay, so that's it. Let's keep going there. So now I'm gonna build code pipeline, and what I says was doing code pipeline. Sorry. All right, here I'm my code pipeline here. So this is my thing. I'm gonna go next. All right, so what it says, oh no this. Okay, no. AWS Code Pipeline Node.js. All right, so this is my name. Okay, I'm just gonna say next. Source provider, now here. So source provider would be my GitHub version 1. Okay, and then connect to GitHub. So again, the same process. You're just gonna give authorize, confirm. So my source stage is done. So after this, it's gonna ask again. So which repo? This repo. Branch, don't have branch, but usually it's main. Okay, and okay, so webhooks, as I mentioned before, I will be talking about the webhooks. Webhooks is simply you know, if you make any changes on your repo, then it's gonna trigger your code pipeline again, and then it's gonna deploy. So if there's any changes on the if it detects any changes on your repo, then it's just gonna trigger the deployment process. That's what it means, continuous integration and continuous delivery. It just automates that process without you having to come do a manually deploy and everything. Okay, and there's another option, AWS Codepipeline. It just checks periodically. So if you use GitHub, then GitHub would automatically detect and it would trigger it. But in case of Codepipeline, it has certain time frame, and it would send a message or periodic changes. It would just like check to the GitHub repo. Okay, so maybe let's suppose every 1 minute, so it would send a message every 1 minute to GitHub repo to detect if there's any changes. You know what I mean? So if there's any changes in let's suppose I send one changes in the commit, but it just been 1 second that AWS Codepipeline had checked to the GitHub repo, and then it sees no changes. But just after 1 second, if I commit another changes, then it would take 1 minute to trigger the CI/CD. You know what I mean? So it just depends on the Windows, whereas it just depends on the GitHub webhook. And also the AWS has recommended that way, so it's better to go with this one. Go next. Now build provider is going to be my AWS code build. So it says add Jenkins. We haven't touched anything about Jenkins, but code build I already talked about. Okay, so code build, and then we have project is my Node.js app. So don't have to create anything, just have Node.js app. We're just gonna select that, and obviously for this one we're just gonna go single build. Okay, and just gonna go next, and we have a provider. Now we're gonna have provider, we have Elastic Beanstalk. Okay, and app application name my Node.js, environment name Node.eve. Okay, just gonna next. This is like simple fix once you set up all the steps. So this is the beauty of thing is without just building a platform is like you just divide each and every section in a stage, in a section, so that it makes so much easier to combine them easier, rather than building a huge block and then you just trying to figure out where it just went wrong at the end. So if you work in a small chunk, it's always better, and then it's easier to figure out where you made a problem and fix it quickly, rather than jumping into a huge thing and then you just coming back and do that. So now you go over here, so just now create a pipeline. All right, so build, deploy first. So now if you go, it's creating a pipeline. Yep, see here it says. So now if you go and you see here, now it has different stages. So once one stage is done, it's gonna go to another stage, and once everything is done, it's gonna give you a green check, and we should be able to access our application if everything goes well. Let's finger cross. Okay, so it says succeeded. My source is succeeded. That means it just went to my GitHub repo, and then it's just passed after the successful message. It's just passed to the build stage. Hopefully the build stage is good as well. Okay, so you can check, you can see the green tick over here. All right, so hopefully everything goes well. Just wait, and so now at this time what we have done is we have created our uses, Git repo, AWS code build, and AWS Elastic Beanstalk. So as I mentioned before, you don't want to deploy automatically every single time. Okay, so in a real production environment, you want to have someone to review your changes and give an approval. Okay, so in that process now we're gonna use manual approval. So that's how you find that it's in a real environment. Okay, so it's a simple traditional, you just don't want to just like give approve without having any review or any approval or anyone to check on the changes, and to analyze, without having to analyze what changes would affect in what section of these deployments. So in a real life you definitely want to have some manual approval, and which we will be doing on this lab as well. Okay, so let's go. All right, so it says build processes succeed. All right, so now, as I said, so once my build processes succeed, now it's gonna go to deploy process. Okay, so the same, so it's gonna in progress, it says stick. Now once it gives me a green signal, I will be able to it will give me like my elastic beanstalk finally up and running. I can see that. Okay, all right, and then I will also see how it affects the webhooks that I mentioned before, how it gonna affect the webhooks, like how if I made any changes on my GitHub, then how it gonna affect the things. I'll try to do that as well. Okay, so we have created continuous delivery pipeline on AWS Codepipeline with 3 stages. Source code build. So yep, definitely. So we just divided everything. So deploy is succeeded as well. So if you see, all of our stages has been succeeded. Everything is succeeded. So our pipeline has been successfully deployed. So now if I clicked to, like, everything is done, what's first line? So if I go over here at this guideline, if it says, what it says is, while watching the pipeline execution, you'll see pages top to blue to green. Okay, click on AWS Beanstalk, new tab listing, and everything is running. So now if I go over here and I say release changes to the most recent, there's no any change for now, so don't worry about this, and go about my AWS Elastic Beanstalk environment. Go to my environment. See, my application has been installed. It says hello world. Okay, so so this is my code pipeline now. Okay, so this has been like deployed because I just created the application, but now it just deployed my code. It just took everything from GitHub, and then it just compiled, and then it just deployed on my Elastic Beanstalk. Okay, so now how I'm not gonna go and change. If I have to change anything, then I'm not gonna go and change everything from like all the process that I did. I'm not gonna do that again if I want to change this hello world to something. So let's suppose how I'm gonna change this and how it's gonna affect. So I'm gonna be a little bit lazy at this time. I would rather use IDE or anything, but just to show you guys that how the changes will affect to my CI/CD pipeline, how the webhooks actually works. Definitely I'm sorry guys, I just got a call. Okay, definitely what I'm gonna do now is make some changes on the application. Okay, so if I go over here on my application and if I go to my app, so what it says is hello world. Okay, what I'm gonna say is hello world, and if I'm gonna go to my edit. Okay, so if I go and edit, and if I'm gonna say hello world, I want to change it. This is the change. Okay, if I say, and okay, so I just did some change on my code, so I'm gonna be putting this. You just watch here how it's gonna trigger. Okay, so once I press, so what's gonna happen is that once I commit that code, the GitHub will trigger my my CI/CD pipeline, and then that CI/CD pipeline would go to the same phase that it went, so source, build, and deploy. So, and then after, like, I can see hello world now. Okay, but after some time I should see hello world, this is the change. Okay, so that's how it's going to work. That's the automated process, and in this case I'm directly doing it from GitHub, which is not a best practice, obviously, because it's directly to the production line. So what you want to do is you would want to just do your change in a separate environment and then do review, and then you would want to deploy. So that's a different thing, but now just want to do from here. So the change, I want to do commit changes. Yep, main branch. So let's see, I just committed it. Okay, so we'll go over here, and then now code pipeline. Now it will see something. Yeah, see, now it already triggered to the in progress. It triggered. It's running in progress. So that's like, once I commit my code, it detects easily. So if I had used AWS code pipeline to detect it, then it would probably check its take its time, as I mentioned before. So now it processed to build. Okay, it succeeded, and then it's updated the app.js. Okay, and it says build in progress. Okay, and then all right, so let's wait. All right, in progress, because once it's gonna get a green tick, you're gonna go to deploy, and once deploy, it's gonna go, and then we're gonna see some change over here. So until now there's no any change because it's still in the process. So deploy it's still in the process to compile that one. Okay, so you can still see hello world. Once our deploy is succeeded, yeah, now it's triggered the new one. So this is how we build our AWS CI/CD pipeline, and this is one of the DevOps implementation. And again, so CI/CD and DevOps is not, there's no any there's tons of tools out there that you can use, and there's no any fixed specific path that you can use based on your requirements, based on your needs. You can always create and creative and effective or efficient CI/CD pipeline. That's the best way that you can always go. Okay, now it's succeeded. Okay, so let's see if my changes has been deployed. Okay, so if I reload, there you go. So this is how my change works. Okay, so now hello world, this is the change. Okay, so now do you guys see it? Right, so now this, if this was my production environment, then simply I would just go to my IDE and I would just change it, and I would just commit from directly from there, and then it would go to my test environment, then someone would review it and check it and then give a manual approval, and then it would go to my production environment. So that's what we're gonna set up now. So if we go to my guideline, where's my guideline? If you go to my guidelines, see, we just did successfully everything. I was able to store my application on my repo, and then I was able to deploy it on my Elastic Beanstalk. So this is good for test environment. Now if we really want to deploy an application on AWS in a production environment, then as I mentioned before, we need to have a manual approval, so which we will be setting up now. Okay, let's go to next module. Now it says finalize pipeline and test. Okay, so what it says is, okay, monitor and manually approve changes. So create a pipeline. See here, we just did it. Open AWS pipeline console, edit button, add stage review. We're gonna add stage review at the last. Okay, orange, and action group, manual review, manual approval, done, save button. So this is the thing that you're gonna do. And then see here, in your favorite code app.js module, change the line 5, save file, open the preferred Git client, navigate module, commit the change with the following commands. Now we're gonna make changes again. Okay, JavaScript. So in the when we preferred Git client, navigate to the folder created in module 1, commit the change with the following commands: add git.js, commit, full pipeline test, and GitHub push. Okay, so okay, and then manually approve. So what it's gonna do is navigate to code pipeline, write a review, stage approval, comment text box, approve, Elastic Beanstalk, deploy, URL. You should see a web page with a white background and text. You would had your most recent GitHub commit. Congratulations, your function continuous delivery pipeline hosted in AWS. Okay, so now let's do this. Okay, it's not that hard, but let's do it. Okay, AWS Codepipeline. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna follow the guidelines, definitely. All right, so this is how I learn everything. And all right, so if I go to implementation section, so everything is running now. Okay, everything's working perfectly fine. Now if I go over here, and if I go and edit, so it says edit, and we're gonna add stage. Now this is a stage, everything is a stage, we're just adding. So now if I edit the stage, now we're gonna add action, add stage. and then it's gonna say edit stage, and so code pipeline which called click on, okay, sorry, cancel, just a moment, save. I haven't changed anything there, no change. Okay, everything's okay, that's good, everything succeeded. Now if I go here, I'm gonna go edit, yep, that's good, edit, and then I'm gonna go add stage. So it has to be add stage after the build, before deploy, and I'm gonna here, it's gonna be review. Okay, and this is the review stage, gonna be before deploy. Okay, and what it says is review and create add stage, and action group. If I go to action group, choose a name, action name, just say manual review. So I told you about why it is important to give you a manual approval. So we're gonna say manual approval. Okay, it's gonna see all the things that it needed, maybe SNS, or it's gonna send anything, and then confirm what options field have been, confirm that the optional fields have been left blank. Configure the approval, just blank, leave it blank at this time. SNS topic, type URL, want to provide reviewer part of approval request. If you want to send any approval request URL, then you just type in here, or if you want comments, you type here, display for reviewer any emails, notification, or console, if you want to say email. So yeah, I definitely need to have more in detail study about this, but as far as I'm concerned, I just know that there is some sort of approval mechanisms, and you can see there's other options as well. So you can use another thing to you can run AWS Lambda or anything, so there's other things. So now we're gonna do manual approval, just do done. It says manual approval, so it's left blank, and if you did say done, save button. Okay, so now save changes. So I've saved it. Now everything is working. For until now there's no any changes, so because there's nothing has been triggered yet. Okay, so just these ones, no execution yet. Okay, so what you're gonna do is gonna push the command. So now we're gonna go to our repo. So if you favorite in your favorite code editor, open JS, file module 1, change the message 5 message. Okay, it says change this message. I changed this already. Okay, and it says git add app.js commit full pipeline. I don't want to do anything because I just want to change this. Okay, so now I want to say change to. Okay, it just, I'm gonna go here, this is change to. Okay, this is my another change. It's the same thing. You would do the, if you go to IDE, then what you would do is you just, after making change, you just add that change to your git, and then you commit it saying it's a full pipeline test, and then just like a comment you put, and then you push that changes to your git, and then it will then trigger it. Okay, so now I'm gonna commit it directly from my GitHub. So I just say change to. So now it just say change. It should say change to, but in this case now we will be getting approval. Okay, so it says change. Okay, and then AWS Code Pipeline console. If I go over here, now if you see here, it's gonna trigger something. It's been, everything is succeed, it's gonna trigger. I think I've committed, yeah, change to. It should trigger it. Pipeline, it's gonna say review. It didn't trigger. Yep, it's just already, the source is already succeeded. Now it's building in a build process. So now when it's in the manual, so let's see. So this is the point where it says it gives us a time to review. So in this time, I have said after build just go to review, but in a real environment what you want to do is you want to have a build, deploy it in a test environment, and then you want to have it review, okay, so that you can see what are the changes, what are the good things, what are the bad things, and if you want to have anything, then you want to see. Okay, so it says waiting for approval, so it will not proceed to another stage until I give the approval. So if I go to review and I say a comment and I say approve, like I say just approve, then now it's been approved. Okay, so now it's going to go to deploy phase. Okay, so it's been updated. It's in review progress. Yeah, it's been succeeded, and now it's going to deploy phase. How long I'm speaking for? Oh my god, it's almost 1 hour and 25 minutes. But yep, I hope this is very worth it. You know, I'm gonna be uploading this straight to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys like it. All right, once it says green tick, I will be seeing, see, still it says change. Yep, now it's been deployed. See, it's been, I don't know why it's not, see, it's deployed now. And if you see here, change to. So this is how it works. Now until you give an approval, it will not approve. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I think you have learned something. At least you know how I think you guys have learned how you should learn, and this is how I always learn, with the hands-on practice. And definitely I will be coming with more videos like this, and I hope you guys enjoy. Please stay if you want to stay connected, please feel free to subscribe, like this video, share, and definitely I will come up with more videos like this with hands-on practice, and I'll try to share my knowledge as much as I can. Thank you so much.